This video is going to be an introduction to composting. If you're more interested in different kinds of composting, how you can compost, or anything else a little more specific, feel free to look at our linked videos at the end to see if that's an option. Composting is a process that uses organic materials like fruits, vegetables, leaves, or lawn clippings to provide nutrients to the soil that your plants grow in. Just like you need vitamins, they need certain nutrients to keep them looking healthy and strong like these plants. To make compost, you allow these organic materials to decompose over time. This turns them from fruits, vegetables, lawn clippings, leaves, etc., all the way into something that looks just like the soil you would see in your garden today. There are a lot of different kinds of compost, but all you need to do is add it to the soil that your plants are growing in and you'll start to see results. Plants that receive compost look a lot healthier and greener than plants that don't receive the compost. It will become very obvious when you begin using it, the effect that composting is having on your plants.
Why do we compost? We now know that compost is used to add nutrients to your plants, but it's not the only option. Some people, in place of compost, will use fertilizer, which is a man-made equivalent of compost. One problem with fertilizer is that to make it, someone has to combine a bunch of chemicals to get the same effect that compost has on plants. These chemicals have the potential to pollute the environment where a person is using the fertilizer. Compost gives the exact same benefits without those concerns about polluting the environment. And another thing, composting is a lot cheaper than fertilizer is. It can even be free. Just use your old kitchen scraps.
Compost can be added at any time during the growing period. It can be added to your plants once it begins to look like regular soil. Typically, most people add some compost when they first plant seeds in the ground. Beyond that, it's up to you if you want to add more throughout the plant's life.
So you just learned why we compost and what composting is, but now we need to figure out who composts.
People who compost come in all shapes and sizes, whether it be a giant corporation with a goal to make energy and fertilizer, all the way down to any individual who wants to make composting a part of their own life. Composting has endless possibilities and can help people in many ways. Let's look to see how each group composts. At the top level, we have big companies who use animal waste as well as other plant products to make fertilizer for crops and energy in the form of biofuel. These companies use giant facilities which take composting to a whole nother level, which contains stories for nutrients and other ingredients which help break down large amounts of waste.
You've just seen how composting can help big companies. Now, let's take a look to see how composting can help farmers and our friend right here.
Over time, our poop machines will produce enough waste that the storage gets too full, and if we don't do anything about it, we'll have a really messy situation on our hands. So what can farmers do to fix this? Well, the best choice is to put it in their fields, and they can do this by two ways, either a solid form or a liquid. But they need to be careful, because if it rains, this can cause runoff, which is potentially dangerous to the environment, depending on how much it rains and where they put their
You've just seen two big players in composting. Now, let's narrow it down and see what some of the smaller players can do.
The biggest groups you can get involved with are community gardens and local farmers. These groups help grow many local vegetables and fruits that you can find at farmers markets and other small sections in grocery stores, as well as many other community events. You can find yourself getting active in these groups by going online and looking up more about them, or just asking around on who's doing what in the name of compost. Finally, you yourself can compost, and this can be in many ways. Maybe you're not sure how to, and the best way to do it is just to go online, learn, and talk to people, and find out what option fits best for you.